One rapper got turned away from a school visit because she pulled up smelling like weed, and instead of leaving quietly, she climbed out the sunroof of a limo and started twerking in front of the kids outside. And believe it or not, that was actually the least disturbing thing people were saying about her that day. So stay with me because this list only gets crazier from here. Sexyy Red. Now here's the thing about Sexyy Red, whose government name is Janae Wary, a St. Louis rapper you probably know from songs like Pound Town and Ski. Usually when hygiene rumors start going around about a celebrity, they come from a bitter ex or some gossip blog just trying to get clicks. But with Sexyy Red, the person who started the whole conversation was Sexyy Red herself. Back in October 2023, while she was pregnant, she posted a video online and straight up told the world her private parts smelled bad right at that moment. Not in a way where she was upset about it or asking for help, but more like she found it funny and was happy to share it with everybody. She said it was because she had been working hard, and she just ran with it in that shameless way that fits her whole brand perfectly. The clip traveled everywhere online and people laughed at her for it, but she was not bothered in the slightest, which honestly felt very on brand for her. Then in July 2024, the whole thing got new life when brand Nubian's Lord Jamar brought it up on the Art of Dialogue YouTube show. Sexyy Red saw what Lord Jamar said and posted his clip on her Instagram story with the caption, which was a reference to her rumored romantic history with the Chicago rapper. She was not the least bit pressed about it. On top of that, there was a moment on Kai Cenat's stream where he actually said she smelled good, like a bouquet of flowers, which her fans used to push back on the whole narrative. She also spoke on it herself at some point, saying people were already making assumptions about how she smelled based on the way she looked long before she ever joked about it, and that laughing at those comments was just the way she chose to deal with it. Whether that reads as real confidence or something else entirely is up to you. But out of everyone on this list, she is the only one who decided to grab the narrative by the throat and own it, instead of running from it. Cardi B's story is different because the rumor had nothing to do with anything she said about herself. It came from a blog post that blew up online in the middle of 2025, and the claim in it was genuinely shocking. The post was saying that her boyfriend at the time, NFL player Stefon had broken up with her because her Brazilian butt lift, her BBL, was giving off a foul smell like garbage. The phrase people kept throwing around was trash bag in July, and it jumped from one social media platform to the next before anybody really sat down to check whether any of it was true. When people actually started looking into it, the story fell apart fast. Diggs himself found the blog post and commented cap, meaning he was calling the whole thing a lie. And journalists who tried to find the original interview where he supposedly said all of this came up with nothing because that interview did not exist. The two of them had not even broken up when all of this was spreading around. So the whole story was basically made up by one blog and then copied by a bunch of others until people started treating it like it was real. By the time all that came out, though, the rumor had already gone everywhere, so Cardi handled it the way she always handles things, and went on Twitter Spaces to speak her piece. She kept that same energy when she went on the Call Her Daddy podcast in September 2025, where she talked about being very careful about how she smells, and pointed out that a BBL cannot just randomly start smelling bad when there are no open wounds to cause it. Doctors who deal with that kind of surgery backed her up, explaining that any smell after a BBL would come from poor wound care during the recovery process and not from the surgery itself. Cardi and Diggs were later seen joking about the whole situation publicly, which is probably the best way the whole thing could have ended. Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion has two separate situations on her record here, and both of them come from men she was linked to romantically at the time, and both of which she said were completely made up. The first one came in January 2020 from her ex-boyfriend Moneybagg Yo, who posted on Snapchat right after they broke up with a selfie to prove it was really him and wrote, "So if she a stallion but musty all the time, did that make her a Mustang?" He was basically calling her stinky, and the timing right after their split made it pretty clear what he was doing. Megan posted a cap emoji in response, which means she was saying he was lying, and she left it right there without giving it any more attention. The second rumor was uglier and goes back to late 2019 when she was being linked to rapper Wiz Khalifa for a short time. A quote started going around on blogs and social media that people were saying came from Wiz, where he supposedly described a bad smell coming from Megan while she was dancing and twerking at a party in Houston, comparing it to juice and pickled pig feet. Wiz came out and said publicly that he never said anything like that and never would, and nobody was ever able to find where that quote actually came from or who put it out there in the first place. Both stories got picked up by YouTube channels, TikTok pages, and gossip blogs, and when you look at them together, the pattern is hard to miss. Both times, it was a man using a black woman's body against her the moment things between them went bad. Megan never said anything more about either situation after her one-word response to Moneybag, and nobody else has come forward with anything like this since Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj's entry is probably the oldest one here, and also the one with the least real evidence behind it, because this story never really left the gossip forums where it started. Back in 2016, a thread showed up on Lipstick Alley claiming that rapper YG had decided to stay away from Nicki Minaj, both in a romantic sense and professionally, after hearing bad things about her hygiene from other people. The thread had people repeating all kinds of crude things and claiming they had heard the same from multiple sources, but when you tried to find any actual proof, any quote from YG himself or anyone else on the record, there was nothing there. It was the kind of gossip that feels more real the more times people say it, even when nobody can actually back it up with facts. YG never spoke on it, Nicki never responded to it, and the whole thing just kept getting dug up and passed around during different moments in her career whenever people wanted to talk bad about her. Out of all 5 people on this list, her story is the one where the least actually happened. It is mostly just forum noise that stuck to a big name over the years, Foxy Brown. Foxy Brown is on this list because of comedian Aries Spears, who made a comment about her in a stand-up or interview clip that started going around on YouTube and social media somewhere around 2022. And that was really all he said, because even he admitted right after that he was not sure what he meant by it. The clip made its rounds through hip-hop recap channels as part of a longer bit where Spears was giving his opinions on rappers from the 90s and early 2000s. Foxy Brown never put out any kind of response. The comment never grew into anything bigger than a YouTube moment, and there is no ex-partner talking about her, no admission of her own, nothing from any real source except a comedian making one offhand remark that he himself could not fully explain. What is worth saying about Foxy Brown, though, is that she was actually a trailblazer in a way that does not get talked about enough. Back when she was coming up, she was one of the first dark-skinned black women in hip-hop to be put on the same level as a mainstream beauty standard in an industry that almost always pushed lighter-skinned women to the front. She genuinely changed what success looked like for a whole generation of women in rap. So using one comedian's throwaway line to put her on a list like this says a lot more about the kind of jokes people think are okay to make than it says about who she actually is. And if you zoom out and look at all 5 of these stories together, that is really the bigger point. These hygiene rumors almost never come from a place of truth. They come from a place of wanting to embarrass someone, cut them down, or remind them that no matter how successful they get, someone out there is ready to make it about their body. Sometimes that works and people run with it, but as this list shows,